Nation. Welcome to Irregular Thoughts / rants. Yeah, you see it. Oh yeah, Cape Flap. And after these messages, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Yo, isn't this shirt badass? This is one of those Spirit Halloween finds. Look, it's got the little belt as I go far away. Stand right there. Dun 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 dun. Look at that. Oh, you gotta love it. All right. So, oh, there we go. The table's moving. All right, it's been a hot minute since we put it out in Irregular Thoughts. Yeah. And what is it on? It's on the state of the DCU, right? What's going on in the DCU? It's a little bit quiet, I should say. Cheers out there to everybody. Now, over the last day, whenever this video gets out, you guys will see it, James Gunn has come out and done a few interviews with some channels. And when that happens, you know, everybody goes crazy. And there's also been, oh God, Mr. Zack Snyder. He came out, and apparently he joined Instagram, okay? And he does have a movie coming out eventually, another one of his like passion projects, I guess you could say. And he's releasing photos of his past work. And of course, as soon as he releases something of Superman, his Henry Cavill, a certain side of the world comes out. The Snyderverse people, as they call them, the Snyder cult. Now, we know, and I've said this in prior videos, that now I just want to get this out of the way first before we actually talk about some stuff. That is a very loud chamber of people. Okay, they have their channels and they do their content creation and they put out their clickbait stuff for the universe that still follows them. You know, if you create, look, at the end of the day, when this movement happened, it was a special time. Okay, a lot of stuff was going on in the world. It was unprecedented things that happened for this move, for Zack Snyder's Justice League to get released and all that. Never had a studio freaking give a guy money to come back and do it. Yada, yada, yada. We know the story. I'm not going through it. I'm not even trying to go through it. I'm just kind of going off the cuff right now. Basically, just because of some of those photos coming out, you would have some creators that are big creators because their identity was based off this. You know, it's what it is. And, you know, it restore it, send it to Netflix, and on top of that, WB is looking to sell, right? So Warner Brothers is looking to sell again. Now, they went from AT&T to Discovery, and now I don't think they're totally, like, see, you know, the one thing in business, see, I guess this is where, you know, I always laugh when everybody comes out with all this stuff, is you don't really know all the inner workings. What exactly are they trying to sell? They might be trying to sell parts of their library, so it would be more about like a streaming network getting a hold of all their properties. And oh my God, can you imagine having all the properties from Warner Brothers, like what HBO Max has, and then that gets merged with Peacock or freaking Paramount or Netflix, you know, because Restore the Snyderverse and Netflix, you know, none of that. It has now become more delusion. Of course, you want to have empathy for the people that just absolutely love it and they just want to see it come back. But come on, peeps. You know that these actors are done. They're older. That stuff is way gone. It's old. It's over and done with. We're in the DCU universe now with James Gunn. Correct? Correct. So, just to touch on that, look, the fact that I'm even talking about it gives it relevance, so shame on me, because I always say starve the flame. It is hard to take your own advice, I will say that. But look, that's done. It doesn't matter. If people want to come out and make videos about it and make up lies, then, you know, let them. Who cares? At the end of the day. So, let's get to the topics at hand here. Look, we all know that when Superman came out, that movie kicked some ass. Now, of course, it wasn't for everybody. Some people were like, well, it was a little too, you know, corny, or this thing was too comic booky, this and that. Shut up. It did its job. It got every level of person to go watch it, see it. I never understand the movie math and all that kind of stuff where everybody gets obsessed with it. Obviously, it made the money it had to make. And then they do all the comparisons. So whatever that may be. the DCU is going nowhere. And, now because when you hear about the Cell, then they think that, oh, they're going to get rid of James Gunn and all this. No, they're not going to get rid of James Gunn. They have an entire plan. They have their universe planned out. The one thing I will say is, like, when I say the state of the DCU, they're moving slower. So it started out with Creature Commandos, right? That was its loose little start. Another obscure group, because James Gunn does do that. He chooses real deep riffs from comics. Now, I'm not a dude that read a lot of comics because I didn't care. I always used to watch the cartoons, the movies. I don't need everything to be comic book accurate, as everybody likes to say. Give me a story. Let me enjoy a movie, a cartoon, a show, whatever it may be, and we go from there. It is kind of hard to do all these connected universes. Now, it's gonna be messy. This is definitely gonna be messy. And it actually kind of feels messy. I mean, you're doing a lot of world building. So at the end of the day, like Superman is kind of clunky with stuff because you have so much going on. So for like a casual viewer that just wants to go see a Superman movie, you might feel that you're not watching a Superman movie because there's so much stuff going on in it. But you are. The essence of Superman was within that movie. You got it, full force, baby. And it was delivered magnifique for me. And like I said, with Creature Commandos, that was different. That was dark. Those are dark characters. That's a villain group at the end of the day. And it was set up with like Rick Flag, with how Rick Flag was going to be in the Superman movie, and Rick Flag was going to have a big part in Peacemaker Season 2. Now, we'll get to that because, like I've said this before, I was not really a fan of Peacemaker. It's not that it was terrible or anything like that. It's just not really for me. It's not that I don't like, crude humor, dark humor, whatever it may be. It's just like, wow, that's a hell of a side character to be like a main component for right now, this early on in your world build, because technically you would think you'd want to go Superman into like, right into Green Lanterns or right into the Flash, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, a Cyborg show or something like that. You'd want to hit like those, like maybe like a cartoon based toward that. But they didn't. Green Arrow. We never get any Green Arrow. Ever. God, I love me some Green Arrow. We just never get it. Yo, make sure to drop those comments right there. And, of course, I forgot to say, don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe and share it out and do all those fun things. But Kelsey probably already put that stuff in there prior. But at the end of the day, is the building is happening. Unfortunately, there has to be a lot of like describing. Like we have to come out and do a lot of promoting to tell you that this is what it's gonna be, and they look for this, look for that, and that kind of happened with Peacemaker. It really did. Peacemaker Season 1 came out a while ago, and that had the DCEU in it. Like, those characters were in that still. And then they just kind of retconned that bitch at the beginning, and they just put in the new gang, okay? The Justice Gang, Superman, Supergirl. That was what you saw. That's what you saw. And at the end of Peacemaker, you had the Justice League show up. Well, it was the Justice Gang that showed up, and they just put that in there. So right away, it's like, okay, here we go. And what happened with Peacemaker Season 2 was, in my mind, James Gunn did a little too much promoting and talking about how amazing it was going to be. And honestly, it was the opposite of what you got in the first season. So, like I said, not that I'm a fan of Peacemaker, like a huge fan. It's there. It's entertaining at times. It's not that the acting's good. But for me, I don't get behind any of the characters because all the characters are like douchebags. Okay? Like, they're all like villain-style characters that they're really non-important to where, like, when you're watching these kind of things, you want the big guys. You want the big guns. That's what you want to see. Unfortunately, right now, you gotta wait. And that's something that people don't do. So, with Gunn kind of did that to himself. I know, like, the way he was promoting the last 3 episodes, that they were amazing. I remember when I saw the season finale of Peacemaker Season 2, I was like, wow. That was kind of like, whatever. I mean, okay, it wasn't bad, but it was just, like, so overhyped. It's going to be a direct correlation to what happened in Superman, and I saw what they were talking about. How you saw Luther's henchmen were in it. You had the talking about all the multiverse. They're going through the portals and all that kind of shit. You even saw the black hole that popped up in there. And then, what is it, Planet Salvation they called it. That's where it's going to be the prison for all the metahumans and all this kind of stuff, and how big of a part that may play. But the way it was set up was not anything grandiose. It wasn't anything like, wow, I'm really excited for this now. No. So now you have to wait. You have to wait. And I honestly think the next thing that's coming out is Supergirl. And that's next summer, I think? Maybe, something like that? And you're like, okay, so James Gunn recently came out, and of course we got Superman Man of Tomorrow, that's gonna be the next movie. And was that technically in the plans, but I guess they kind of routed back to that, and that's gonna be more of like a Lex Luthor style story. Like, it's gonna be more centered around him, as he's saying, which is fine. So that's gonna be totally different. You already knew that what you saw in the Superman movie, from like what you got with this one, the next movie was going to be totally different. I don't know why everybody was getting so mad about that. They think it's going to be corny. And the one thing I said was, take a look at what you're getting. See the forest through the trees here. I mean, you're legit getting the animated universe from Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series, Justice League Unlimited. You can tell he's taking from all of that. Well, he is taking from all that. Of course, he's taking from deep riffs from comics, because that's just what the man does. And you're getting those vibes. You're getting that universe. Now, I know not everybody loved the Justice Gang. Of course, we're supposed to be getting lanterns, right? We haven't heard anything really about lanterns. Even within these interviews, he's still kind of like not telling you what's coming. And nor should he. Everybody's obsessing about who the villain's gonna be for the next Superman movie. Who's gonna be the big bad within the universe? I mean, everybody's saying it's gonna be Brainiac. And it probably is. And he openly says that it's not gonna be Darkseid. I don't think Darkseid's needed. Now, of course, you got the little snippet of Darkseid in the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and everybody, he looked great. It was cool. I thought it was badass. Steppenwolf and all that. But you're not moving toward that right away. Nor did they do that in the cartoon series either. I mean, he's probably going to be more or less, if Darkseid's going to be in it, he's going to be teaming up with somebody. So I think Brainiac would probably be your best big bad to start this universe off for the gang to come together. Now, what's going to happen when we get to Lanterns? I mean, one doesn't know. I really hope that show's good, because let me tell you something. Peacemaker is not really what everybody wanted. It's just what he gave you. Now, they can put whatever narrative they want out there. I don't think Peacemaker was great TV. I really don't. Think about the casual fan watching that, the crudeness of it, the awkwardness of it. Like, nah, that's not gonna really fly with a lot of people. Now, some deep comic book people be like, oh yeah, that's great. I could have done without it. I would have chose somebody different. I mean, that's just me. I would have had a different series, but that's what we got. Same thing with Creature Commandos. I mean, let's come out with another animated series. I mean, I hope there's like an animated series in between. I don't sit here and do all my homework. I leave that to all the other channels that do that. If you guys really want to know my thoughts on Peacemaker Season 2, I do put that stuff on TikTok. You guys got to follow me on TikTok too, because I do a lot of content on here. The link's in the bio, of course, on YouTube. Kelsey will have these things popping up on screen here and there. Just due to the fact that copyright doesn't kill me on there like it does on here. So, I mean, right now the DCU is kind of like at a meh level. It's at like, there's like a beep here and there, but it's taking the director, the head of the stories here, to come out and do interviews to get people excited, because, oh my God, did we come out of the woodworks as content creators to just talk about what it was. In the interview itself, like I said, he's not covering that much. If, in my mind, when you have to go back and explain things too much, or you have to do a lot of promotion to like tell about an episode, to overly promote something, I think you do yourself a disservice. I think the product should speak for itself. That's just me. Now, do I think the DCU is in any kind of trouble? No. All they had to do was hit with Superman, and that's what they did. They hit with Superman. Everything else was gonna kind of be whatever until you get to Supergirl. And like with Supergirl, that's probably gonna be a very compact, like a lot of shit going on in it movie too. You're introducing Lobo. Crypto's probably going to be in that. I'm sure Superman's going to be in that at some point. So who knows what other characters are going to be in there. And then, like I said, who knows what's going to happen in the Lantern series. I mean, that's based off Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. Apparently, it's supposed to be like a True Detective kind of thing. You know, there could be a multitude of stories going on within it. I mean, I don't know. And I can imagine that show's taking a long time to do because of the CGI that's going to be used in it. Think about, like, I wonder if we're going to get transformation into the Green Lantern. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And until we get some type of teaser, I mean, shit. Yeah, so as you can see, it's kind of like me being a little bit speechless right now because there's really not a lot to talk about. At the end of the day, that's why I don't make a ton of movies. I don't make a ton of videos on this because how much can you really make? I mean, he's not really telling you what Superman Man of Tomorrow is right now. He's giving you little bits and pieces, which is what he should do. I mean, that movie's not going to come out for a little bit. And the same thing, like, you're not going to get much on Supergirl until you get a preview, a trailer. I don't want to see set photos. I hate set photos of anything. It doesn't help. I mean, the theorizing that's going on right now, like I said, I leave that to the other channels because there's no need to do that. You're only going to get yourself excited for things that aren't there. I'm surprised I haven't ranted yet, even though this does have like a little rant. I guess there was a little rant at the beginning when we're talking about all the Snyder silliness. I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to that, guys, just don't pay mind to it anymore. Don't pay mind. I do hope that maybe one day that guy comes back to direct something like down the road when you can get to like an Injustice kind of thing or something like that. That would be kind of cool, but other than that, yeah. I mean, let me know. Did you really want to see Darkseid as the big bad? I didn't want to see Darkseid as the big bad. Not yet. I want to see Brainiac. I think Brainiac would be a cool idea. I think that would be a really cool idea. You wonder who the villain is going to be in Superman Man of Tomorrow. It's not going to just be Lex Luthor. It's definitely not. Seeing that, I mean, the story will be more like geared into whatever the hell Luthor's doing, and of course Superman, but who's going to be that villain that comes in? I do feel like maybe it'll be Parasite. Or maybe Parasite will be in it along with Brainiac. I mean, who knows? Was it Atomic Skull? Is that another one? Or Metallo? I mean, I feel that all these villains are coming in. It's just, who knows? Who knows? So yeah. All right, Irregular Nation. I don't really have much else to say about that because I'm kind of rambling and yammering right now. So don't forget to come take a ride on the Irregular side all the time because why wouldn't you want to? Cheers.